Welcome back to Canadian Justice, where we're discussing Canada's proposed or now in place plan for temporary visas for people from Gaza with an extended family member in Canada. Now, we're joined by Sergio Karas, who is a immigration specialist and lawyer. One of the things we were talking about in the last segment is the security concerns that you and many others share about granting visas to people from Gaza, given that Hamas, a terrorist organization, has enmeshed itself with the civilian population. And also, one of the things I wanted to mention is that there actually is widespread support for Hamas among the civilian population in Gaza. There was a poll done in December by the Palestinian Center for Policy Survey and Research, and they found that 42% of those polled in Gaza support Hamas, and 57% of those in Gaza said Hamas was right and justified to launch the October 7th massacre of Israeli civilians, which included, of course, the brutal slaughter of infants, rape of women, and the abduction of over 200 hostages into Gaza, many, over 100 of whom still remain there today, including, we believe, women and children. Now, given widespread support for terrorism among the population in Gaza, how do you even properly screen for security threats? And I mean, in my view, I think support for terrorism should be disqualifying, but how do you even determine support beyond just taking someone's word at face value that, I'm not one of the over 50% of the population who believes it was justified. I'm one of the minority.
Right. And that's the $64,000 question, because to your point, not only is Hamas still very popular in Gaza, but in, I believe, the same poll or a different poll also taken by the Palestinians, if Hamas would run in the West Bank, which is not Gaza and is currently controlled by the Palestinian Authority, they would win because the
Mhm.
Palestinian Authority is very unpopular. And the reasons why is these people are these brutal murderers of Hamas are popular, are uh, attributed to various causes, but uh, you can pinpoint decades of indoctrination from a young age that the Palestinians have been subjected to by Hamas and by other people who are, for lack of a different characterization, they want to eradicate Israel, and they are imbued with anti-Semitism. So this dovetails with a question of security, because security is paramount, and the security services are the ones who are in charge of vetting individuals. The real problem here is multifold. Number one, we believe, I mean, I believe, and many of us believe that the um, forms and the type of questions that are put to the applicants in writing are insufficient. We want the questions in writing because if there is any kind of finding out that somebody had bad connections to any terrorist organization, later we can use that against the offending parties.
As
The-
justification for deportation because they lied on an
Correct,
application. Okay, because my
correct.
understanding is
Because
it's quite difficult to deport someone even if they even if there is evidence that they have supported violent terrorist organization, unless they have been convicted, and even then, it's still difficult. So,
right,
I mean, I think the key is then to make sure that there was a dishonesty in the application.
right. And as an illustration, I will illustrate this with two cases because unfortunately, Canada doesn't have a stellar track record in trying to weed out these bad apples. There are numerous cases regarding individuals have been associated with Al Qaeda, and also there were a lot of cases with respect to Tamil tigers
Hmm.
that raised security grounds. And with respect to the Palestinians, there was a case, the case of Mahmoud Mohammed Isa Mohammed,
Hmm.
that was a member of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, who entered Canada with a false name.
Let's talk about that case after this commercial break. We've got to go to break.